Trying to convince me to go outside with my hair like this, y'all. Y'all know my hair been pulled up in that thing since I've been working on my project. So it's time to wash this and do my twice a year blowout to see what we're working with and cut it. So this is where we are. And these are the adventures of a temporarily out of work wife and mother. And it's wash day, silk press, and trim time. We'll see. Me and my sister got a little hair growing competition going on here. We can't cut our hair till all the kids graduate from high school. So I ended up walking around with my hair like that for a day or two. And then I put it up in one of my kinky buns. And now it is time to detangle and pre-poo. To detangle, I am using the unbrush. And to pre-poo, I am using a deep conditioner. I'm going to twist my hair up and bend 2 knots and leave that pre-poo in for a little while. Probably 30 minutes is enough time. But the way my life is set up, let me tell you something. These bend 2 knots was in here for days. Don't judge me, judge your mammy. I'll let you watch me do another section and then I am going to edit that out and fast forward to washing that out, shampooing it, and the deep condition process. So now all of my hair is detangled and it is time for the wash. One of the great things about pre-pooing is that makes it a whole lot easier for you to get really dense hair completely and thoroughly wet so that you don't have to use as much shampoo and you don't have to do as many shampoos. Now, for my silk presses, I like to use the BioSilk system. So I use their shampoo, their conditioner, and their leave-in, which is perfect for wet and dry hair. It's also great as a heat protectant, and it helps to keep the hair from reverting. And with this shampoo, I definitely need 2 shampoos in order to get it properly suds and clarified. So now it's time to detangle, condition, and deep condition. So I start with the BioSilk conditioner, and then I go in with my deep conditioner by Mielle. I use my 6 sections, of course, and I bend 2 knots. I use one of my recycled grocery bags to keep that body heat in and get that deep conditioner penetrated into the cuticles of my hair. And once again, you can leave that in for about 30 minutes, but the way that my life be lifing, I got called in for a PRN shift at the behavioral health facility where I work PRN. So I ended up leaving this in overnight. Yes, I did go in them people job with conditioner in my hair, band 2 knots, a recycled grocery bag, and a head wrap. Who gonna check me, boo? I'm just playing. They do not care. I was still in dress code, honey. My head wrap was matching my uniform. So I washed that out off camera, and now I am just going in and using that BioSilk leave-in and putting it back in band 2 knots in preparation for the blow dry. I'm going to edit this out because you all know what that looks like, and then jump to the blow dry. So before I blow dry, I use that Tymo heat protectant. I love it. It works wonders, and it smells good too. When I blow dry my hair, I blow dry it in those same sections. I make sure that I spray that Tymo on, comb it through with a fine tooth comb, and then I blow dry that hair and make sure that I get it all the way dry. I also try to make sure that my hair is stretched as much as I can possibly get it to be. And as I do each section, I combine them so that I am removing those parts and making sure that the hair along those parts is properly dried and stretched as well. And this is what that looks like from the back. I will show you what it looks like from the front. Same process, just different angle, I guess. My hair dries pretty quickly, so it's more important that I get it evenly dried, which requires that I get the teeth of that comb attachment to go all the way through my hair, and that I make sure that I don't have different sections of the length of my hair at different levels of dryness. So my roots aren't more dry than my ends, the middle of the shaft isn't more dry than the ends, and so on and so forth. So that is why I go through so many times, I guess. I'm sure if I use like the brush method or some other method, I might be able to get it straighter, but I'm not all that concerned with that because I do want to be able to see my split ends when I'm going in and trimming my hair, since I am doing it myself. And once this lion's mane is completely dry, I section it off in just 3 sections for my flat iron. So one huge section for the back part, the front, and about a 3/4 and a 1/4 section because I always wear my hair parted to the right. And what you'll notice is that I spray that Tymo heat protectant again on each section before I go through and flat iron it. And I do use the chase method, but I do not use a comb. So I comb it with that fine tooth comb, but then I use this little chase method helper gadget, and you'll see what it looks like. It is a godsend. If you are flat ironing your own hair and you find that you have difficulty, you need to get this bad boy. So obviously when doing the back, there's a little adjustment. You know, when you do that first pass, you got to get your hands coordinated and all of that. Well, using that little chase method aid definitely helps with that. I try to only do one pass per section. On occasion, I will have a section that's a little too wide, or I won't have had a good grip on the aid, and so I might need to go over it again. But when I do that, I know that I am not going to have any heat damage because I use the protectant and I don't have the flat iron in my hair very long. And so I've slowed it down so that you can see. I'm spraying the Tymo. I'm using the fine tooth comb to comb through that section so it's detangled, but also to disperse that heat protectant. Then I'm using the chase method aid to not only hold but to chase that section, and then I'm going through that section in one pass slowly with my Hot Tools flat iron. And I love this flat iron. It is the absolute best. My hair isn't like hot when I'm done. I have it on 410 degrees. It goes up a lot higher, I think to like 500 degrees. I don't know why anybody would put 500 degrees worth of heat on their natural hair, especially if they intend to wear their natural curls most of the time. Because I wear my natural curls most of the time, I want to avoid heat damage. I care about retaining my curl pattern when my hair is not in its stretched state. So you'll notice that depending on the thickness of the section, I might use one spray of the Tymo and I might use two. But I make sure that I am protecting that hair as much as I possibly can. This Hot Tools flat iron is double plated, so it's already going over the hair twice, and it has a little gap so that it isn't like direct heat over and over again, as opposed to being a really wide flat iron. It's two really thin plates, which ensures that every strand of hair is actually getting pressed out from root to tip. It gets really close to the roots. Another thing that I don't do is I don't use a smaller flat iron to get to the root, or a straightening comb or anything like that. A lot of times when you see people with heat damage and it looks like the heat damage is in the middle of the length of hair, it's not really in the middle. I mean, it's in the middle of the shaft, but the heat damage didn't happen while that hair was in the middle. It happened while that hair was at the root, and they were going over it 15,143 times with a straightening comb and a flat iron, trying to get their roots bone straight like they got a relaxer. I'm getting my roots straight without doing all of that. And if it's not bone straight, who cares? Ain't nobody running their fingers through it. Ain't nobody taking pictures. We're not doing none of that. Another thing that you'll notice is that as I go through, my ends start reverting because I didn't put a whole bunch of BioSilk on it or do a whole bunch to necessarily prevent that from happening, because I plan to trim it in this state. And I want to see those frizzy ends, and they'll be prominent the next day. Now, I do go through with the flat iron as I finish each section and just silk it back out so that it's not frizzy right now. But I'm gonna wrap it, go to bed, get up in the morning, brush it down, and then I'm going to trim it, and you'll be able to see what I mean. I can see my ends and I can see what needs to be trimmed. Yes, I want the silk press to last, but I still want to have hair. And at some point, the camera stopped working and I didn't realize it. I thought I had restarted it, but I didn't. So I didn't get the whole front. This is it wrapped, and this wrap scarf is older than my youngest daughter, who will be 21 in June. I ought to be ashamed. I'm going to get a new one, y'all. So the next day, I brushed it out. And now it's time for the cut or the trim, whatever you want to call it. And I do that in those same three sections. A huge section in the back, 1/3/4 section going to the right, and then a small 1/4 to the left. My concern isn't that my hair is all even. I'm not attempting to cut it in a style necessarily, because when I do wear my hair out, I'm wearing it in its natural state. And that does not require for it to all be the same length. I care about how it looks when I straighten it as well. So to ensure that I am appropriately trimming the back, I hold it in multiple angles. I hold it over my shoulder, I hold it down and cut it towards the front, and I hold it up over my head and trim it straight across. But I make sure that I have it as angled as necessary to ensure that it's not being cut on a slant or uneven, and that it is being cut even as if I was standing behind myself. These are professional shears, so baby, these things cut like slicing through water. And I'm mostly looking for see-through areas, for pieces of hair that aren't just frizzy, but they look damaged. They don't look as strong as the rest of the hair shaft. Because my hair will grow, whether my ends are split or not, I don't need to cut all the way up the shaft to get rid of split ends. The last time that I did this 6 months ago, I had a lot of split ends. And that's because the person who braided my hair before my sister got her hands back in it decided that she would be a lazy bum. And when she did my human hair braids, she didn't braid past my hair. And I didn't discover just how terrible of a job she did until I went to take those braids out. And I'd left those braids in for 2 months. So she severely damaged my hair. So when I took them out, I got my little sister, who's a professional stylist, to wash and deep condition, trim my hair, and blow it out. And we were able to see that I had probably about 2 or 3 inches of damaged hair. So I did what I do. I deep conditioned, I treated, and did all of the things in order to get my hair as healthy as possible. People always say, oh, you can't repair split ends. You have to cut them. That isn't true. That might be true for some people's hair, but not for my hair. I can do just about anything to it, and it's going to grow. That's genetics. That isn't anything special about me. But I also have growing hands. If I put my hands in your hair is going to grow. I have done it all to my hair in my almost 50 years of living. From the very first time that my mother allowed me to cut and dye it at 16. So I know something about saving whatever hair I have left after I've done all that. And I can tell from the pictures that I took of my hair 6 months ago that I've done a pretty good job. So after doing all of those treatments, I had my younger sister braid my hair. I left those braids in for 2 months. And then from then, I just continued treating it, putting it in that twist style, wearing those twists for about a month at a time, and just letting my hair do what it does. And it's grown quite a bit. It's also repaired itself quite a bit. So there's probably still about 1 inch or maybe even 2 of damaged hair. But that damage didn't travel up the entire shaft, which is wonderful. And thankfully, most of the damage is centered in one area of my head. So I know exactly what I need to do to repair that area when I'm done wearing this silk press. So as you see, I'm doing my different angles to make sure that I am getting that hair appropriately trimmed. And I'm cutting however much needs to be cut. I'm not worrying myself about it being even across or around or what have you. One row may be slightly shorter than another row, but it isn't going to look jagged and choppy because I am combing it all together and pulling that section to the front and just trimming whatever might be hanging over to make sure that it is full at the ends and not stringy. And then on my edges, because I don't really have edges or baby hair, I have lots of hair there. Like the hair that grows along my edges grows really long. So you'll see me pull pieces of that hair out and just trim it by itself because it's not the same length as the rest of my hair, but it's not short enough to be called quote unquote baby hair. There's also a section of hair right at the top of my head, at the crown, that is a little broken. So what you'll see me do is pull that up and basically layer that section because I want to make sure that I'm trimming all of my hair, especially and most importantly, those sections where I have clear damage. So that's what I'm doing right there. The great thing is doing that when I wear my hair out naturally in its natural state, that'll just give me volume in the top. And to do that last quarter section in the front, I do cut that even across, and then I separate it into just 2 sections and I trim it, because that literally is the healthiest section of my hair. It's the most even. It has the least amount of breakage. It has the least amount of split ends. So I don't have to do much to it. The only thing that I make sure I do is blend it with the back. And now it is time for that magic. So we are busting out that BioSilk and that Tymo. And the goal here is to get those frizzy ends straight, straighten any roots that may have puffed up or frizzed overnight while we are asleep, because perimenopause is a disrespectful, trifling heifer. And curl those ends, because when I wrap it and I comb it down, I like for those ends to be curly. I do not like it straight. I don't spend a whole lot of time with that flat iron in my hair. Now, this is the Tymo flat iron, and it actually has a fan on it. So it cools the hair immediately after straightening it. And it also curls the hair. So I can get really close to the roots, as well as get the hair straight and curl it, which is what I am doing now. And it makes some really cute curls. Look at them, y'all. You should be able to tell from the look on my face that I am loving these curls. I almost wish I could wear my hair like this, but I'm a little old for that. And now it's time for everybody's favorite part, the front, because then we could do our big ones. We could really see what it's hitting for. So here it is in real time. You can see how quickly I'm moving through that hair. And even though my parted sections are wider, I am maintaining the same thickness. And you saw those cute little curls. The shine that Tymo creates is just beautiful, especially coupled with that BioSilk. So I'm going to insert a picture of my hair 6 months ago, and then I'm going to insert a video clip of me combing this hair down after I let the wrap sit. All right, now it is time for the big reveal. Let me stop. I'm gonna use the unbrush to unwrap it instead of the that wig brush. Okay, sis. All right now. Okay. You know, I still gotta have that left side. I can't do the left side down. Ain't nothing changed. The left side got to be back. Don't say nothing crazy, because I'm recording this and I'm not editing it. Because you know you be done calling people something atrocious. Let's see what the back talking about. Since I probably cut a good inch of this hair off. A good inch and a half in some sections though. This thing on pajama top. I've had so many wardrobe malfunctions. I done had to zoom and edit the thing on video out. So I know you're probably thinking, why did she do all of those curls and then wrap her hair knowing that the curls were going to come out? No, my curls are going to come back. And I'm also going to pin curl my hair. I like the way it looks with pin curls and not the curls from the flat iron or curling iron. So I'm going to pin curl it anytime I actually have somewhere to go and plan to wear it out. So you can't expect to see videos with my pin curls, okay? And if you see me swinging my hair, just know that I am a head swinger, not a hair swinger. I am always swinging my head, even when I have no hair or my hair is pinned up. So don't come for me. And this is what my hair looked like 6 months ago when I went through this same process, including the pin curls.